Hi everyone, very good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I hope most of you had your breakfast. Why don't you put on the chat what you had in breakfast? Because today's topic is also something related to food, right? So let's quickly discuss what you had in breakfast. Let's see if it was a very good option that you had for breakfast or if it was a cheat meal for you. Let's just see what you had for breakfast. Poha, khakra tea. Upma, pesarattu. Pesarattu is a great breakfast. Puri, upma, sattu with water. Okay, nice choice. Kakra tea. Okay. Not the best choice, but I'm hoping this doesn't repeat every day. Poha. Poha sounds good, but I feel we can add something alongside poha to balance it, right? Could you speak in Hindi? I will try to speak a little bit in Hindi. See, the only reason we keep the sessions in English is so that it is universally understood, right? For everybody. I will try. If you're not able to understand anything, you please let me know. I'll take you over that in Hindi. My Hindi is not very great, but I'll still try to manage for your sake. Mixed vegetable, egg burji, wheat roti. Excellent. Red poha with vegetables, boiled egg. That's a wonderful way to take poha. Beautiful. Oats porridge. Interesting. Nice. Okay. Two kakra. Moong chilla. Also an excellent choice for breakfast. Salad, omelette, roti. Wonderfully balanced. Great job. Kala channa salad and charge. Wonderful. Okay. Mixed veg paratha. Okay. Again, ragi. Also interesting. Seems good. Dalia. Millet and jonna dosa. That's also a nice choice. Boiled eggs. So many of you are eating so wonderfully. Two boiled eggs, mixed vegetable, cooked millet with buttermilk. Excellent. That's a great meal. Poha with sprouts also is good. Scrambled egg, cucumber, tomato, sattu, and buttermilk. Wow, this sounds very good. And you have good fats also coming in from walnut, almonds, and pistas. Boiled egg and bread. Okay. Still a good way to balance out your meal. Eggs, wheat bread, boiled veggies. That's also good. Idli, snake guard. Oh, there's sambar also. Excellent. Okay. There's dosa and boiled eggs. Veggie dominated chilla. I love that name. Wonderful. Sprouts and millets. Ragi. I'm guessing that's idli. Salad and java wheat upma. Moong chilla. Wheat dalia. Excellent. Oh, wonderful. Dosa with pudina chutney. Scrambled egg. Ragi puttu. Channa masala. Sprouts. A different type of salad. I'd love to hear what that salad was. Sounds very interesting. Noolappam. Okay. I hope you had maybe egg or something along with it to bring down the sugar spike. More than that, to also try and balance the food, or at least like a stew with a lot of vegetables. Moong dal, chila, stuffed paneer, and vegetables. Excellent. Roti, chicken curry. Also a great source of protein in the morning itself. Besan chila with vegetables. Wow. My day is made. All of you are eating so well. ट्राई करती हूँ राजू सर आई ट्राई टू कीप इट इन इंग्लिश हिंदी में भी कुछ कुछ मैं बता देती हूँ ताकि आप भी समझ सकते हो रागी dosa with onion and peanut chutney appam with vegetables too Moong and chana dosa and bhaji okay Upma spike the sugar. Yeah, we will talk about this. I think we'll also have a question and answer session at the end of the session, right? Sorry, sir. I don't know Telugu. The only words I know in Telugu is Telugu, sir. I'm really sorry. We'll plan one in Telugu also for you. Okay, we have some sessions on Telugu also, right? So that it makes you a little better. Ma'am, I think I've been saying no that I do want to keep it in every not every language. I want to try to keep it in one language which is understandable. Here and there, I can try to speak in Hindi also, so that it reaches some of you. But regional languages is very tough for me to manage. I know Malayalam, but I mean, it would only be like two, three of us understanding the session, right? So that's why we're taking it in English. We will also promise regional language sessions. I give you my word on that. We'll definitely be planning it. Murmura also spikes the sugar. Yes, that is correct. Dosa with pudina chutney. Okay. We'll come back to this. Okay, guys. So what we'll do now is we'll get started with the session. Okay. We'll come back to discussing what breakfast options you had and whether they were good and how that is going. Okay. I'm just sharing my screen. Yeah. Can someone please let me know if my screen is visible so I can get started? Yes. Thank you. I could see a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Okay. So we'll get started with today's session. Okay. All right. Wonderful. So on this beautiful Sunday, we're going to cover up this topic of daily diabetes meal planning. Okay, so how do we make better choices on a day-to-day basis? This is also something we are trying to understand here. And also, when we are making better choices, how do we also keep in mind if this choice is going to be good for our blood sugar? Very very simple. हम खाने की बात कर रहे हैं कि कैसे प्लान करें and what we can do ताकि शुगर स्पाइक भी ज्यादा नहीं होता. ठीक है? So this is what we are covering up today. So let's go with the basics. So when we understand the basics, we'll also understand why we are doing what we are doing, right? Why are we doing something? Why do we eat this way? Why should we balance our meal? So understanding that is also very, very important. So let's come to the basic question. What is diabetes? So most of you might be knowing it's a chronic condition in the body which affects the glucose processing in the body, right? So what types of diabetes do we usually see? We see type 1 and type 2. These are the most common types that we see. Okay, there are other types, but let's focus on this. Type 1 is autoimmune. We also call this as insulin dependent diabetes, and you also see this in a lot of juvenile people who are below 18 years. Okay, next we come to type 2. So type 2 is what we majorly see in adults, right? So we see insulin resistance. Basically, your insulin is not able to keep your sugars under control. So how do we manage this? We manage this with diet and physical activity and if necessary medication also. Basically, this is dependent on your lifestyle. How you do your day-to-day activities that can build up to this one thing. Okay, then so whether it's type 1, whether it's type 2, what do? We try to keep the sugars under control to prevent any complication. Too much of anything is bad. We know that, right? Whether it's too much of food, even extreme levels of activity, too much of water, anything that we have in excess can be a problem. So if your sugars are also in very high amounts for a long period of time, it will start impacting your health. Okay, so this is just for you to understand how type 1 and type 2 are different, right? In type 1, body doesn't make insulin. That's a problem. So you will have to take insulin. There is no other solution to it. Type 2, your body already makes insulin, but it is not responding to that insulin, right? That is that is why we call it insulin resistance, right? So only with lifestyle changes, we can make this better. Again, type 1 can be caused because of any immune system reaction. Type 2 can be because of lifestyle factors, like I was just telling you, right? How we do our day-to-day activities for a long period matters. And type 1, like I told you, starts in childhood and mostly it's within 18 years. Type 2 is more common in the middle age adults, where we see it being very, very common. So in type 1, symptoms come in very quickly. Type 2, symptoms slowly develop. It takes time for you to understand. For a lot of people, when you're pre-diabetic itself, you might not see symptoms. Only when, your sugars get very high. Some people get rashes, itching, or you keep having, frequent urination, or you feel very, very hungry no matter how much you eat. These are small signs and symptoms that it could be something else. And if you see weight also increasing, you have to keep that in mind. So check on your weight as much as possible. Okay. Lastly, the treatment. Of course, type 1, because body is not making insulin, insulin will be the only way we can treat it. Type 2 is managed with drugs and lifestyle changes. Basically, when we say lifestyle, stress levels are also something we need to keep in mind and think about. Then we have, a physical activity, diet, and good sleep is also something that is very important, because when you don't sleep, you notice that the sugar levels are slightly higher. So make sure that you are keeping sleep also as a very important parameter. Yes. So why should we manage blood sugar? So you might think, some of you might even think that it's okay, blood sugar is a little high. What is the problem? See, if it is high for a long duration, of course, it will start impacting other areas of your life, other organs in your body. So long-term diabetes, you'll notice that eye-related issues come in. There can be nerve-related issues, that tingling sensation comes, or it starts becoming numb very soon. These are things that we usually see with high blood sugars for a long time. So it can also prevent any complications, because long-term diabetes, when the sugars are not in control, it can lead to other disorders. It can impact your liver, it can impact your kidney, heart and nerves. So when you manage your blood sugars, you notice that your mood is a lot better. You feel great, you feel very energetic, and also uh, making good choices every day, which is also what we are discussing in our topic, right? Every day making good choices when it comes to food can make a very important impact here. Okay, so why does meal plan become very, very important? Because we know food and sugar levels go hand in hand. If I'm going to eat too much, we're going to see a high increase in the sugars. So if I'm going to eat very, very less also, it might give me a low sugar. So these are things we need to keep in mind, right? So meal planning really helps. Some people plan over the weekend also. We'll get in detail with this so that we are able to make the best out of this. So when you plan your meals and eat accordingly, your sugars are great. You won't end up eating too much. We'll also talk about the meal plate method, which is something that's very important, and weight management. So managing your weight also becomes so much easier when you plan your meals. Next is it helps decision. Sometimes you're very unsure, right? Especially when you're going out. Oh no, what should I eat? Is this going to increase my sugar levels? So you have that kind of a decision fatigue that we say. So, and it will also help you stick uh, to a better routine altogether. Right. So let's understand two important terms here. One is glycemic index, one is glycemic load. Some of you might already have heard, right? When you see we should take low GI fruits, you should take low GI rice. These are things you would have heard now and then. So what do you mean by glycemic index? It is basically how fast your food helps in rising your blood sugar. So as soon as I eat, my sugar is going to rise very high immediately. It's going to be a high GI food, which is not something good if I'm going to be diabetic. Okay. So let's also look at low GI. So low GI, some examples here. Okay. You have oats, barley, any whole grain, right? Compared to flour, when the whole grain you take, it is going to be much better for you. Apples, pear, plums, these are also good example when it comes to fruits, and guava also. So these are low GI fruits which can work very, very good for your sugar levels. Then we have high GI. When you say high GI, as soon as I eat it, it's going to spike up my blood sugar very high. Something like white bread. Obviously, sugar, any form. It can be sugar, jaggery, honey, any of these. And also watermelon. See, watermelon is good, but when you take it in small portions, just because it is summer and you're feeling very hot, if you're going to take too much of it, it can temporarily spike up your sugars. And we also tell you, right, whenever you are taking fruit, pair it with nuts and seeds. Excellent way for us to manage the sugars. Okay, so glycemic load is nothing but your GI plus how much ever food you have eaten minus the better real life indicator. So we generally tend to look at the GI part of it, because if some food is increasing our sugar levels, it might not be good for us. Okay. So how do I use GI or GL for better choices? Very, very simple. If you see any food which comes under the high GI category, try not to take it as much as possible. Okay, because you know it is going to spike. You just don't have it very often. You don't have to avoid it. Restriction or a limitation is something that is important, right? So you just maintain that. And portion, how much ever you eat plays a very important role. So make sure portion control is also taken care of. So first thing, swap white rice with quinoa or brown rice. So South Indians can also take red rice if it's available. And also cooking method. That's something that I would like to bring it up here. So when you pressure cook versus when you boil and strain, we notice that boiling and straining has a better impact on your sugars. So as much as possible, if you are having white rice, try to boil and strain. Do that method of cooking over pressure cooking, because some of the starch comes out in the water, right? Starch is nothing but very simple sugar. Okay, so if I'm going to have something which has a lot of starch, it is going to increase my sugars. So rather I find ways to remove that starch and then have my food. So try that as much as possible. Next, instead of having your juices, bottled juices, yeah, Tetra Pak juices or sodas, rather than that, try to have infused water or buttermilk. Do you all know what infused water is? Are you all aware of what infused water is? Let me also check the chat and see. Are you all aware of infused water? No. What about sugar-fit rice is low GI rice? You can take it. Okay. I see most of you don't know what infused water is, right? Okay, I'll come to this question. There's a question saying how we know which is high GI GL. You will get to know when you see the carbs in that food. I'll take you through that also. Okay. So we'll go over that. So let's come back to the important point, which is this, right? What is infused water? So infused water is nothing but uh, see, let's say I'm taking a bottle of water. I have a bottle of water with me here. Okay, there's a bottle of water with me. So what I do sometimes, let's say, bored of having just water. So I'm going to add some flavor into the water. So what do I do to add flavor into the water? So to add flavor, I can add some herbs. I can add pudina leaves. I can add like a slice of lemon. I can add maybe cinnamon because I like the cinnamon flavor. Or you can add chia seeds. You can add cucumber or maybe even a piece of watermelon. Anything orange. Citrus fruits work really, really well. Okay, the peel also works well. It will just give a little flavor to the water. When when my water has a lot more flavor, I might end up drinking a little more. Okay, this is just a fun way for you to give some flavor to your water so you end up drinking a lot more water. That's the whole point of this. Okay, so you can try during summers, it works very, very well. You can add jeera, methi, anything to the water, right? Slowly the water starts getting a flavor and it is nice for you to have it. Okay. And lastly, pair carbs with protein or fiber to lower GI impact. We'll come to this. This is a very, very important and interesting way. Okay. How protein and fiber helps lowering the GI impact. Yes. This is what we were talking about, healthy food swaps, right? Wherever possible, if you have the opportunity to make these swaps or to make healthier choices, let's please take that up. So brown rice or red rice, quinoa, dalia, these are all fine for you to take in place of white rice. Then instead of white bread, wholemeal bread you have. See, sometimes in the market you see brown bread, you see whole wheat bread. Check the ingredients. It should say whole wheat or it should say atta. Sometimes some companies or rather what they do is they just take white bread, add a caramel coloring to it because it gets a brown color. We might think, okay, this is brown bread, this is healthy. Always check the ingredients. It's very, very important to know what you are consuming. Okay, so make sure it says, whole wheat flour. It should not say refined flour. Whole wheat flour is atta, which we should have. okay, instead of maida. Then we have instant oats and rolled oats. Okay, so when we look at rolled oats are bigger in size, right? So that is a lot better for you to consume over instant oats. Instant oats is already very, very thin and very small. It cooks in 2 minutes, right? Because the fiber content is also very less. Rolled oats is a better choice instead of instant oats. You can also use steel cut oats. That's also available in the market. So those are better than instant oats. If you get the ones in packet, there are, certain brands that have like masala oats and all of that. I wouldn't recommend that. It would have a lot more salt and sugar also. So take normal rolled oats, try to make it into an upma, or you can make a flour out of it and also use it for your rotis, or you can make dosa or idlis also out of it. It's very, very versatile. Okay, then we come to having sweet potato instead of potato. See, sweet potato, if you have with the peel outside, it is slightly better than having it. But let's make sure we take it in small portions, and you can pair it with something that has good amount of fat also. Okay, then we have taking nuts instead of chips. You can simply maybe roast a little bit of nuts at home. Any masala that you like to add, you can do it. Makhanas are also a great alternative instead of chips, right? You have a little bit of makana, you just roast it with little chili powder, salt, anything else that you like. It's an excellent snack. It's also crunchy. It's wonderful for you. It doesn't spike your sugars also. So coming to macronutrients, what do you mean by macronutrients? Macro means big. What are the big nutrients that we get from our food? We have carbs that we often talk about. Then we have protein. Then we have fats. Okay, these are usually a part of every main meal that you have, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. We segregate them into these three parts. Okay, so when we talk about carbs, so carbs can be rice, idli, dosa, it can be chapati, any of these, oats, all of these are called carbs. So what do carbs do? It gives you energy. Okay, and it increases your blood sugar. So how much you eat is very, very important. And if you're diabetic, right, you already have sugar in your blood. So if you're going to eat a lot of carbs, it will raise it even more. Rather, we focus on the portion of the carbs. The sugars will also remain okay. And your body will start utilizing some of the sugar that is already present in the blood, which is what we want. Okay, so focus on whole grains, big grains instead of flours as much as possible. Okay, so push for it. It might not happen on a day-to-day basis, but at least a few times a week makes a difference. So try for that. Fruits also, low GI fruits. Fruits with their skin is any day better. So try to have those kind of fruits. And then you have legumes, which is your pulses, dals, channa, rajma, all of that. Those are also great. Those are also carbs to the body. So we will limit white flour. Maida is not our friend at all, because what it does is on consuming, it rises our blood sugar. Some of you might have noticed also, when you have anything with maida, right, your stomach doesn't feel very comfortable. You feel a little bloated, you feel a little gassy. So try to limit or restrict how much of maida you are having. Again, the point is you don't avoid any food, but you take in small portions, right? That's what we are working with. Any added sugar. So if you're craving something sweet, go for a fruit. That's any day better than going to have, something very, very sugary. It can be a juice, or let's say tea, coffee also. You're adding sugar and taking it. Of course, it is going to spike up your sugars. Okay, so rather look at alternatives. We have some alternatives in the market, stevia, monk fruit sugar. Those are safe for you to take, and we're taking in small amounts, so you don't have to worry. Artificial sweeteners are also okay if you are taking them, right? Let's come to proteins. So protein, most of you know the protein that we consume, right? It can be vegetarian, non-vegetarian. All your dals also come under protein. And then we have your non-vegetarian sources also. Egg whites are excellent. If you can take egg a day is also superb for your body. Then you have lentils, tofu, grilled chicken. These are excellent examples of protein. Protein is necessary. Okay, not just for blood sugars. Protein helps you feel full. If I'm not going to take, let's say one of you said, no, I had poha in breakfast, you'll start feeling hungry soon if you just had poha. right? If I'm going to have poha, on this side, maybe let's say I'm having just half a cut cucumber and I'm having a boiled egg. So I will feel a little more full and I'll be able to go up till lunch and go for my lunch directly. And I won't feel those hunger pangs. I won't feel hungry every now and then. Okay, so that's the beauty of taking proteins. Then we have fats. So fats, maybe in poha, if you're adding peanuts, that's a source of fat, right? So every day, whatever you're eating, let's understand what all is in your plate. So it becomes easy for you to make the right choices. So fats can be almonds, olive oil, flaxseed, any of these. Yes, the role of fiber. Now you can see this graph, right? So this is just an example that we've taken. So when you just have pizza compared to when you have a salad and then you have a pizza, we see the sugar spike in control. So there's someone called Glucose Goddess on Instagram. Some of you may be knowing. Study, you see a lot of experiments that she does. So this is one of that. So if you can have some vegetables or if you can eat a little bit of protein and then go for your meal outside, it would work wonders for your sugars. Okay, so let's also talk about the role of fiber in your meal. So it lowers your sugar absorption, reduces the spike. Basically, after every meal, we see a spike, right? So this keeps this under control. And then you have improving digestion, keeps you full. This is a very important point. Along with protein, fiber also takes care of your sugar spikes and also keeps you full. If you're going to feel hungry every now and then, there is a high chance you'll end up eating something that is not good for you, right? We don't always snack very healthy. Sometimes when we are very, very hungry, we just want to eat whatever's available to us, whatever's in front of us, right? So we can avoid that when we have a lot of protein and fiber. Then, what are your sources? Vegetables are excellent. Okay, fruits with skin, like I had mentioned, and your dals and your whole grains are excellent sources of fiber. As you make sure there's fruits and vegetables every day, fiber will be taken care of. You don't have to worry about that. So coming to a balanced plate. Now, some of you might already know this, how to eat very balanced, right? So you remember in the meal plate method, some of you might know, we have 50% of non-starchy vegetables, then 25% should be protein, another 25% should be carbs. This is the way we're supposed to eat, right? So think of see, when we say non-starchy vegetables, try to limit how much of roots and tubers that you have, right? Especially potatoes, sweet potato, and all of these. We need to keep this under restriction. Again, do not avoid anything. Be very cautious about how much you are eating. Okay, so this is what we were talking about, right? Have good amount of vegetables, and when you're sitting to eat, start your meal with vegetables. Okay, let's take a classic Indian lunch for example. There will be rice, there will be some dal. Okay, there might be dal can also be maybe sambar or rasam when it comes to South India. Okay, there'll be some kind of sabji or some vegetable that is also available, right? So let's start your meal with a little bit of vegetable. Okay, it can be cauliflower, it can be cabbage, it can be beans, it can be any vegetable available. So start your meal with a little bit of that. Okay, then let's come to having a little bit of whatever protein there is. If you can add an egg to this, wonderful. So you can have an egg next, or paneer is also excellent. Tofu is also great. Okay, you can have a little bit of that. Then you come to having rice along with whatever form of dal you have. And then whatever rest of the vegetable there is, you can eat that way. Because we can't just eat plain rice if we complete all the vegetables and the dal, right? So leave a little to have them all together. Okay, so that's a good way. So you can also add maybe yogurt or curd because it's excellent for your gut. Okay, when sugars are high, your gut takes a hit. So we can try to incorporate yogurt or curd also in any way possible. Right. This is a very easy, handy guide for you. Okay. So this palm is the amount of protein that you will take basically. Okay, so this is only for your additionals. We're not talking about carbs here. We're only talking about protein. This is a fun way. So this is how much ever meat that you're supposed to eat, or it can be any other form of protein. Think about your vegetarian forms of protein also. Fist, this is how much of grains of fruits you should take. Remember, fruits also spike up your sugar, so do grains. So if you have both together, it will spike up your sugar. If you're having fruit, try not to have rice. Okay, pick either one so that your sugars are under control. Ideally, for lunch or for breakfast, dinner, we tend to have proper carbs only. So take this for your portion. Okay, if you're having rice or anything, remember this is the portion you're supposed to have. Okay, then thumb. Thumb can be any kind of fat. So this is the amount of fats that you'll take. It can be oil. Some of you might add ghee and to your rice and eat. This should be the portion that you follow. Okay, so thumb tip will be any other fat that you have. Okay, so usually this is total fats that you have. If you're not taking any nuts or seeds, remember to take only so much of your fat. Coming to basics. So we are not going to go very in detail because this is a very vast topic. So let's understand what carbohydrate counting is. So carbs basically affect your sugars. We've just been discussing that. If you have too much of carbs, sugar spike will be very, very high. If you have a controlled amount, sugar spike will be under control. Okay. So basically one carb is 15 carb choice carb count that we say is 15 gram of carbohydrates. So you know the sources of carbs by now. You have grains, fruit, milk, sweets. These are your sources. So use food labels. When you see the food labels, if some of you are not looking into the food labels, the nutrient label and the ingredients, please start now. When you see way too many ingredients, it's not something that is very, very healthy. Right? And if it starts with sugar as the first ingredient, it is going to spike your sugar. Okay, so look at the ingredients. If you can understand the ingredients, it's good for you, right? If it's too many chemicals, too many additives that we say, probably not the best choice for you. Okay, so look at the food labels, look at the total carbs and you divide them by 15, you will understand that. Okay, just look at the carbs, you'll understand if it is going to be good or not. So this is an example. If a product says it is 22 gram of carbs divided by 15, 1.5 carb choices. Up to 2 to 3 for a particular meal is okay. Let's not go a lot beyond that. Okay, so this is just to show you how things work. If you're going to have a banana, 17 gram carbs, it breaks down into glucose particles, enters the bloodstream. Similarly, no matter what carbs, but you can see the carb difference here, right? That's why we don't always tell you to have a lot of banana because it's something that has a lot of carbs compared to your other fruits. So when you're going to have naan or something, the carbs is going to be more and it's broken down into glucose and you see a lot more glucose in your bloodstream. Yes, this is for you to quickly understand when you look at calories per day at the back. Okay, just look at the carbs. This is not how you see it in Indian scenario. This is just for an example. But look at the carbs divided by 15. You get a count. If that count is very, very high, let's say it crosses 4, it is best not to take it. Remember, if it is touching 3 or 4, it's supposed to replace your meal. As a snack, it is not a very good choice. Yes, coming to food groups and servings. Most of you know we have different food groups. We have fats, we have vegetables, fruits. All of these are the food groups that we know. So when it comes to carbs, okay, so 15 gram carbs comes from half cup of any grain that you take. It will be rice, quinoa. So there itself carbs come. See, don't think that if you're having quinoa or millet that carbs are not there. Carbs are of course there, but it is slightly lesser. And when we talk about carbs, we also use the word called complex carbs, meaning it has a lot more fiber and a little bit more protein. Let's compare, white rice and brown rice. So brown rice has little more fiber, little more protein compared to your white rice. So that's a better option or a better choice for you, right? So that's something that you need to consider when you're eating. Or it can be one slice of bread or 1/3 cup of rice. So that is your starch. 15 grams we were talking about, right? When you divide by 50. Again, similarly for fruits. 15 gram would be one small apple or half a banana or 3/4 cup of berries. Berries are excellent, but it's a very seasonal kind of fruit. You don't get it throughout. Okay, so if it is in season and you're able to get a hold of it, please do eat it. It also has excellent vitamin C, great for your body. Okay, milk, see, milk only adds to insulin resistance. Okay, so we don't recommend a day because it does spike up your sugars. Okay, then we have non-starchy vegetables. So other than your potato and potato family, non-starchy vegetables you can always have in high amounts. Like we discussed, potato, tapioca, sweet potato, any of these we'll have to keep under restriction in small portions. Okay, when you have something that is low in carbs, good in fiber, and it gives you that satiation. Satiation is nothing but I feel full after having my breakfast. I'm not getting hunger pangs. I'm not thinking I need to eat something every now and then. So that feeling of fullness is very important for you, very important for your body as well. And protein. We have excellent protein choices, right? We have lean meats, we have egg whites. Eggs, like I told you, take 1 egg a day. You can go up to 2 egg a day also. Or if you feel, if you have high cholesterol levels, don't be afraid of eggs. Have one whole egg. Additionally, take egg whites. That's absolutely fine. All right. So we have tofu, we have pulses. Okay. So remember, there is something called a carb overlap. Why do I use this term? Because if you're already having, let's say, I'll give you another example. Some of us might have this comfort food of having rice or rasam and like a potato sabji. You know, in the north, it can be dal chawal, aloo ki sabji. Here we might have, it can be a sambar rice or rasam. Rasam and potato fry is a very great combination. Likewise, but if you notice, there's only carbs on the plate. As a comfort food, if you're having it once in a week, once in 10 days, it's okay. But regularly having it will spike your sugars if you're diabetic. Because rice is already having carbs. The rasam or the dal, again, pulses are also a form of carbs. It doesn't just give you pure protein, it also gives you a little bit of carbs on the side. That's again adding to your carb load. Now I'm having potato. Potato, like I told you, is a starchy vegetable. Starch is nothing but sugar to the body, which is also a type of carb. So I'm only seeing so much of carbs on the plate, right? So that can also happen. So if you're having comfort food, probably before that, try to have like simple things. Every house, we might have cucumber and carrot, and it's easy to get. Despite the location, you'll be able to get it. So try to have cut cucumber or cut carrot before you go for your meal. Okay, that's a better way to take it. 1 teaspoon oil or 6 almonds. See, oil also goes into when you're doing tadka or when you're cooking, right? So that's also something we need to keep in mind. So too much of oil again will cause high levels of cholesterol. Okay, sweets and treats. Again, like I said, you don't have to avoid anything. It's something that you take occasionally, right? If you've been great for a week, maybe you have in one meal in a small portion, it is still viable. And pick your treat well. What I would also advise is after you have this sweet treat, try to go for a bit of a walk just to bring down a little bit of that sugar spike. Okay, so again, one carb, see, any of your sweets because of the sugar will spike up your sugars very, very high. Blood sugar is very high, is what I mean. So even a small portion of it will have high amount of carbs. So how much you're having it really matters. If you can opt for sugar-free options now and then, that's also great. Or if you think, okay, once a week only and in small portion only, I'm taking, a certain food, that is also okay. But you shouldn't overdo restriction. Okay. So this is just a sample meal plan for you to understand. Okay. If you're having this, or let's also talk about some of the, food that you mentioned on the chat. Poha with egg and sprouts, with a little vegetables on the side. We can make this Indianized. This is Western, I understand. If you're having toast, you add egg and cucumber along with it. So if you're having any kind of dosa, make it an egg dosa. Or if you can have paneer tofu is also great. Or if you can make a combination of a sprout salad is also a great breakfast option. Don't think there are no carbs. Like I told you, pulses and lentils do contain carbs. Okay, so you are taking carbs, so do not worry about that. Okay, so any food that you eat, make sure there is a protein option and some vegetables on the side. If no other vegetables, or if you feel this is something, upma is a great option, right? Someone was asking if I can have upma for breakfast. Upma, put a lot of vegetables. Try to use bigger grains than rava. The bigger the grain, the better it is for you. Maybe you can use broken wheat, what we call as dalia also. You can have that. Along with it, maybe a little bit of yogurt if you can take an egg on the side. Great. Or if you can add like small cubes of paneer also chopped into the upma, it will also add flavor. It will be great for you to eat. So let's try to plan this in this manner as much as possible. Now coming to lunch, brown rice, and then you have dal and spinach. Again, spinach it's non-starchy. Okay, you can also have a glass of buttermilk or a little bit of yogurt on the side along to add a little bit more protein. Dinner, it can be pulkas. Pulkas also, what we suggest sometimes is adding a small portion of besan or gram flour onto it because it adds little more protein and brings down the sugar spikes. Rajma also, remember rajma is something that has a good amount of carbs, so portion becomes very, very important. Any mixed salad, it can be just cucumber, carrot, tomato, onion, very, very simple that way. You can also take that. Yes. When we are looking at meal timing and hydration, what we look at is eat every 3 to 4 hours. Similarly, see how you plan is between breakfast and lunch. You can have a small snack. If you're not feeling very hungry, you can have something to drink. But chia seeds, or it can be a black tea, a green tea, any of these. Black coffee is also fine. You can have any of these as an option. Even like lemon juice, lemon water, these are great for you to have. If you are hungry, maybe a small portion of fruit along with some nuts or seeds to balance out the sugar. This is a great way for you to plan. Try not to skip meals because what also happens, you might have noticed this could be something that you have faced. When you skip breakfast, you tend to eat a lot more in lunch. So when you skip one meal, you tend to eat much heavier in the next meal. And that's going to obviously spike up your sugars, right? So try to have meals if you're not hungry in a small portion. Okay, like a soup or a salad also works if you're not hungry. All right. Make sure to have 2.5 to 3 liters of water. I think most of us, because the weather is warm, might end up having it. If you're facing rainy seasons or because of monsoons, try to have us warm water. And going back to what we discussed earlier, infused water, right? It's a great way for you to improve your hydration. Warm water, we use some tree barks also. Okay, in Kerala, they use tree barks to give that color and that taste. You can add a cinnamon bark also works very well. Jeera water also works. You can use ajwain, you can use fennel or saunf. This also works very well. It gives a flavor and you can have it warm. Keep taking sips through the day. Okay. Next, we have avoiding sweetened beverage. This I told you, this is something that also harms your liver. Most of you might be knowing, right? When you take a lot of sugar, it does put a load on other organs in the body. So try not to take it as much as possible. Look at sugar-free alternatives. If you feel like, okay, it's only once a month, I feel like having a Coke, have a Diet Coke instead. It's only once a month that you're having an artificial sweetener. It's not going to harm you in any way at all. Yes, coming to tips for easy meal planning. So prep your veggies and proteins ahead. There are 2, 3 influencers on Instagram also whom I follow, who I see they do a meal prep. Saturday, Sunday, they cut all the vegetables that they want. They think, okay, Monday if it's bindi, they cut it, put it in an airtight container, keep it in the fridge. It's because we don't have time to, or we don't find it very easy to cut and then cook at the same time. We want to make things more convenient. We don't want a time consuming process, which is why we prepare ahead. You can also cook dal and keep in small, small containers onto the fridge or to the freezer. And as you require it, you can use it for making dal or it can be anything else that you're using it for. Okay. Likewise, you just think, okay, Monday, if I'm having this, I'll cut it and keep it. Okay. You can also repeat it. So if you're having, let's say, bindi sabji or a lady's finger sabji, right? So you can cook enough for 2 days. You can reheat it and consume it in order to save time, that's not a problem at all. If you're okay doing that, then it's fine. Even with rice, many people cook for 2, 3 days in advance, reheat and then take it. This is only for a fast paced lifestyle where you don't have time, right, after work or in between work to do it. Then think of these kind of alternatives. If you open Zepto or Instamart or Blinkit or anything, you also have the options of cut vegetables already available to you. Use that to boost up your meal for veggies especially. Right? So you get like a pulao mix or a sambar mix, everything is available. Use it wisely. So that way you get the fiber that you need. And see, it's not only fiber. Having fruits and vegetables give you all the vitamins and minerals that your body requires. Okay, that's also why we look at including them in our everyday meal. So use containers for portioning, just what I mentioned. So in small portions, keep it and take it forward. That should be fine. Then plan your week and shop smart. One advice I give to all of my clients is never go shopping when hungry. Right? When you're very, very hungry and you go shopping, everything that you don't require also you'll end up picking up because you are hungry right now. But you start planning for the other days also, thinking you'll feel this way, right? And when you buy a lot of junk food, you'll obviously be forced to eat it also. You can't waste food, right? So do not go shopping on an empty stomach. Always go shopping on a full stomach. Okay, next is cook in batches. Yes, you can always freeze. So when you freeze food, it doesn't hamper the nutrients at all. This has been proven time and again. So you can freeze in small containers as much as you would require for one day. You freeze and keep, and then you can defrost and use it, or you can start cooking with it also. Absolutely fine. Great way to make meal planning easy. Yes. So coming back to what we had discussed, look at buying fresh items as much as possible. With fruits and vegetables, when we see visually, we know, okay, this is fresh, this is not fresh. We can do it. Okay, so always make a list that of whatever you require and then you go buy. Okay. And like I told you, start reading the labels, guys. Please start doing it. Look at the ingredients, look at the nutrient label. This is a game changer if you are trying to get healthy, if you're trying to, work on a better lifestyle. This is very, very, very important. Yes, these are great ideas. If you are having a hunger pang, you're hungry in the evening, boiled eggs are great. This is basically just a chia seed pudding. Very simple for you to make. All you have to do is take a bowl, but you can't have it immediately because chia seeds need to be soaked. So what you can do is the previous day itself, you can add like 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoon of chia seeds, soak it in a little bit of water and add some yogurt, or you can put it a little bit of coconut milk, or milk is also fine, and yogurt, or you can also add protein powder. Great way to incorporate protein also, right? And if you're using any low GI fruit, it is still okay. Great snack idea for you here. Nuts and seeds also. Remember, look at this visual. It is showing you only a palm size that you should take. Please maintain that. Just because something is healthy, we cannot keep eating a lot of it. Nuts and seeds also contain a lot of calories. So if you end up eating too much, you'll notice weight is slowly increasing. Okay, it's because of that. So the portion, just put how much ever can fit into your palm and do not take more. This is hummus with carrot, cucumber, celery, anything is okay. A great way for you to make it, you can just use cooked chickpeas, run it through your mixie or grinder, add a little bit of oil, water, and you have a great dip. You can add garlic, salt, however you want to flavor it. Great snack idea for you. Yes. Like I said, these are common things that you should avoid. What do you avoid? Skipping meals, like I told you. Why? Because you end up eating more in the next meal, which is a no-no. Okay, then relying on package. See, if once in a while, we can't avoid all processed foods, but if you're having a lot of junk food, especially while snacking, please try to keep a restriction. And not reading labels. Like I said, that can be a game changer for your health. So try to read labels as much as possible. Poor dining out choices. If you're eating out a lot, you have to be very, very careful with what you are eating and putting into your body, because your choices can pave way for other issues in your body. Eating out. So try to use, when you go out, grilled vegetables, or when you're picking any appetizer, try to pick ones which are grilled. If you're eating out just once a week and okay, I want to eat this, then it's okay. But if you're going out regularly, 2, 3 times in a week, if you're eating outside, make sure you choose wisely. Then you can ask for salad dressings if you're having a salad, swap fries for sauteed vegetables, avoid sugar sweetened drinks. Okay, now let's look at following the meal plate method. What was it? 50% non-starchy vegetables, 25% carbs, 25% protein. Then we have the low GI carbs. Okay, let's focus on having more of whole grain. Even when it comes to fruits, let's have low GI fruits. Protein and fiber in every meal. Protein and fiber are your best friends if you are diabetic. Okay, plan ahead, eat regularly. Some of us, we know, okay, let's say we're going out with your friends to a particular restaurant. You already know, look for the menu, see what choices you can make. Share it with your health coach also. Maybe they can help you pick out better options also. Stay hydrated. Water also, 2.5 to 3 liters in a day is necessary. Okay, so let's come down to the question and answers. One second. Yes. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah. All right. If anybody has any questions, we can please take them up. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of things already put in the chat. Let's see. Pomegranate is also okay. Try to keep lesser of, like I said, no, those fruits where you will not be taking the skin. Those are likely to add more carbs. I know it's mango season. Try to be very careful with mango intake. Whenever you have a fruit, make sure you are taking um, a little bit of nuts and seeds on the side. Avocado is great, no problem at all. Great source of fat. Okay, I'll just come one by one. I'll just start over again. So many questions. Yes, glucose revolution, that's right. Sweet potato is okay in small amounts, maybe like half katori. Take some nuts or seeds on the side. Okay, let me, so many questions. Okay, we are aware. Alkaline water. See, I don't see any great benefits of having alkaline water because your body was made to follow a certain pH. A lot of things in the market can be gimmicks, right? In order for you to feel you're missing out on something, that you go and buy it, right? You don't require that. If you're facing acidity or anything else, just take ajwain water or jeera ajwain soap. This is a great combination for you to take. Yes, you can add cardamom to water. Cardamom is also something that you can definitely add. If you're having gluten intolerance, of course, gluten is not something you can have. Look at millets also as a better option. I think oats might also contain trace amounts of gluten, but otherwise, most of your millets are all safe for you to eat. Palmolive, it's okay for you to consume. See, breads might contain a lot of things which are not very great for us, but that's why we say let's keep refined food to a smaller amount, right? Mm. Sweet potato is fine. We already discussed that. Flaxseed is also okay, just like pumpkin seeds, just like your almonds. It's also great. It has omega-3. It's a good source of fat to your body. Absolutely fine. Soaked kismis is okay. Kajur is also okay if you are not diabetic. If you're diabetic, probably not on empty stomach, and it's not something I would recommend because they do increase your sugars. Black coffee without sugar and milk, great choice. Absolutely fine. इसे शुगर नहीं बढ़ेगी शुगर हाँ शुगर फिट के राइस अगर आप रेगुलरली खाते हो तो नो प्रॉब्लम एट ऑल इट इज अ लो जीआई राइस कुकिंग मेथड लाइक आई टोल्ड यू ना वो बॉईल करके स्ट्रेन करके अब बनाइए इंस्टेड ऑफ प्रेशर कुकिंग बैंगन इज गुड इट्स अ ग्रेट नॉन स्टार्ची वेजिटेबल ग्रेट फॉर यू टू take. Ponni boiled rice is also fine. Again, comes down to portion. Okay, sugar, without sugar tea, yes, absolutely fine. But uske saath, whatever you are having, you will have to pay attention to. Do not take it with biscuits. You're avoiding sugar in the tea, but having sugar in the form of biscuits, not a good choice. So try to have nuts and seeds on the sides. Curd is excellent, gives protein to your body also, and is great for your gut. Stevia is also okay. Monk fruit is also okay for you to take, no problem. Jowar roti is also excellent, no problem at all. So if your sugar levels are going up, probably it depends on your duration. How long you're doing your activity also matters, right? So that could be something that we are looking at. Okay, so try to keep the duration. Sometimes you might have to maybe have pre-workout something and then go for it, which is also fine. Um, Let me come to one more thing, which is okay. Sugar fit rice is better than brown rice. You can try either. See, ma'am, generally, I cannot tell you this is what is best for you. You try and see, and then you see what is working for your sugar levels well, and then you go for it. Okay. Yes, curd you can take daily, no problem. Don't we lose nutrients when we cut and freeze? No, sir, we don't. See, if I'm going to keep cut vegetables out in the open for very, very long, that by itself might, because vitamin C is something that degrades with exposure to oxygen, right? So if I'm going to cut it, keep it in an airtight container or something with a lid and then keep it, it is still okay. Yes, curd daily is okay. Sorry, I already covered that. No, keto biscuits is okay for a diabetic person. No problem at all. Stevia will not give us spikes, sir. Not to worry about it. How many spoons of chia seeds? In a day, maximum 2 tablespoons. And like I said, it has to be soaked in water well. Soak it overnight also. That is fine. Methi seeds also, you can soak it overnight, take it morning, empty stomachs. It does have a good impact on your sugar. Treptin biscuits are also okay. Poha with peanut is okay, but like I said, add an egg along with it, then only we can take it. Avocado is okay. Honey and dates are also things that spike up your sugars. Okay, there is no such thing as jaggery is better or honey is better to your body. White sugar, jaggery, honey are all the same to your body. It's just carbs. So try to keep it to a minimal as much as possible. Dates are also something that spikes up sugars, but try to maybe take dates once or twice in a week and take one date if it's a big date, especially just that. White rice impact will be immediate only, sir. Like I said, no, it's a very simple form of carb. It is a high GI food. So as soon as you eat, it will start impacting your sugars. Infused water can be drunk through the day, ma'am. You don't have to worry about it at all. You can have it through the day. Okay, so look at having it through the day. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just come to the next set of questions. Okay, then we have, can roti be combined with little rice for dinner or lunch? You can, like I said, portion is what important. After eating your meal, you try to check your sugar, see if it is within the range. It has to be within 140 mg per dl. ठीक है. Papaya is also okay. Idli with sambar is fine, but idli with sambar still lacks a little bit of protein. So try to have a lot of vegetables on the side. Okay. Ragi mudde is also fine for you to eat. Per day, two, I would suggest maybe not as much because ragi also we've seen does spike up the sugar a little. So try to keep that under control. While traveling, this is a great question. What about some alternative options of fiber while traveling? See, if you're not able to get vegetables outside, you can carry isabgol or fiber on the side. Okay, so that can be a great idea. You get fiber supplements also if it's for a short period. But if you can get fruits or vegetables outside, right? Please try to take it. Okay, before meals, I didn't understand this. Before meals or after meals, what are you asking me exactly here? I'll come down to it. Peaches, plums, pears, yes, absolutely okay. Dragon fruit is also great, not a problem. Masala sabji is fine. See, masala is okay as long as you don't have acidity or any other stomach related issues. So masala is fine. ठीक है. Jowar rotis for lunch and dinner. Yeah, absolutely fine. This I had discussed. With high cholesterol, you can take egg yolk. Okay, but one whole egg and egg whites on the side. Let's not take too much of egg yolks here. Figs have high carbs, then how can it be better? Fresh figs are not a problem. The dried figs are usually a problem. Okay, so try to take fresh fruit instead of dried fruit as much as possible, because dried fruit usually has some amount of, just give me one second. Yes. So you're saying dried fruit has some amount of sugar, right? More than it. So try to keep that under control. Cool. I'll come back to the other questions. No option to cook. So what should be breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Gopalji, I feel you can take this up with your coach. Maybe this requires a lot of planning just here. And why don't you share what options are available so that your coach can also guide you with this. Mishri powder is also sugar only, ma'am. So it's going to, sorry, sir. It's going to also spike up your sugars the same way. Honey and dates, I already discussed, not something I would recommend. Okay, this I had asked. Pickles, see, homemade pickles are still relatively okay. Store bought contains a lot more salt and oil and spices, right? So on the lower side, if you don't have uh, hypertension or blood pressure related issues, you can take it. You don't take curd or buttermilk or yogurt, any alternatives. You can look at making pickles at home, vegetable pickles. And I don't mean your traditional pickles where you're adding chili powder and salt. A little bit of vinegar and water, and you can soak it. Little bit of salt, you can soak it. It ferments over time. You can take that. Okay, much better. Four atta puri is still a high carb breakfast. Along with that, chana is still okay. Maybe lower it. Probably before the puri, have a little bit of vegetables if you can. Maybe cucumber. Cucumber is easy. Sprinkle a bit of salt and pepper and you can take it. Daily one egg is enough. Sometimes beer. Beer, see, occasionally, once in a week, once in 10 days is fine. But beer, because it's made from a carb source, it does spike up the sugar. So how much you have also matters. If it's 1 pint, it's still okay. Let's not overdo it. Date sweetener is slightly better. Okay, but it is going to spike up your sugars also. Anjeer is okay to take. Anjeer and apricot, if you're taking in the fresh form, it is still okay. Okay, generally when at office 5:30 you get hunger pangs. Why don't you carry, like in a small dabba, you can take protein powder and carry it, right? You can just put a little bit of water and mix it up and have it. Boiled egg is something you can carry. Maybe even a small apple. Apple, if you're leaving it in your desk, coming back and eating after a day also is fine. It's not something that will get spoiled. Okay, so that tomato omelette works. 6 days a week gets monotonous, the same thing. I understand, but probably that's where we need to plan, right? I was talking to you about maybe one day you can have a chia seed pudding. One day it can be, cut vegetables with hummus also. Look at some of the options we had discussed. I think that would give a break from it being monotonous. Papaya and anjeer, I think we discussed. Mayonnaise, see, homemade mayonnaise, I would still say is better. The one you buy from outside just contains a ton of oil, sometimes even sugars. I have seen it does spike the sugars for diabetic people, so I don't advise mayonnaise. But if you're making it at home, it's still okay. It's quite simple to make. See, infused water or water on the whole has to be just 2.5 to 3 liters in a day. If you're having 3 liters of infused water, doesn't mean it's going to affect any part of your body in any way. Your water intake is what is important. Okay. Quinoa, rice, idli, dosas, yes, absolutely fine. Quinoa is excellent for your body, has protein also. Go for it. Night, what can we eat if we avoid rice products and wheat? Why not millets? I think millets are a great option. Will not be too heavy on your body also. Creatinine is 1.5. How much protein can I have? See, protein 0.8 grams per body weight is still okay unless your doctor has told you not to have it. I think it's still okay. Cooking oil recommended, sunflower, groundnut. Any cooking oil is fine. But my only advice is try to change your cooking oil every now and then. Let's not stick or use the same cooking oil. If this month you're using sunflower, next month you go for groundnut. Okay. How many pieces of chicken is okay in lunch? As much as you can eat, sir. Maybe even 4, 5 pieces if they're, medium sized pieces are okay. It is not too bad. I think I already answered about pickles. I do not recommend pickles on a daily basis because salt, oil, spices are high. That's why it's tasty. Papaya is fine. One day I eat upma and dinner, sugar spike to 240. So, like I was saying, the grain you use for upma, let it be a millet upma or let it be a dalia upma with lots of vegetables. Okay, that's a better way to consume upma. Yes, lychee is also okay. Any fruit, make sure you take it with nuts or seeds. When we are frying, we can use oil or ghee. Which one is best? Either is fine. Like I was just telling, change your cooking oil now and then. Don't always use the same oil. Coconut oil to add with black coffee. It is not necessary, sir, to do that. You call that a bullet coffee, but if there's any particular reason you're taking it, you can just let me know. But you don't have to take it that way. But that's okay if you want to consume it also. That's fine. If you're having it as a pre-workout in the morning, empty stomach also, that's a fine option. Methi, how to take quantity of water in seeds. For 1 glass, take 1 teaspoon, leveled teaspoon. It shouldn't be a heaped teaspoon where it's, looking like it's going to fall out of the spoon. It's a leveled teaspoon that we are looking at. Yes, you can take sugar fit juice. You can take it empty stomach or after the meal also, absolutely fine. Time gap between salad and foods, you can give maybe 10-15 minutes or you can eat right after it. No problem at all. Mango can be had, but do not have it every day. One mango also spikes up the sugar very, very high. So try to take in small, maybe half a mango. Remember, eating something is still okay than having to avoid it because your sugars are high. Along with it, nuts and seeds, and go for a small casual walk after that. 2 ragi ball per day. It's okay, sir. I already mentioned that you can. Maybe one per day is okay. Try to have jowar. Instead of ragi mudde, jowar mudde is also something that you can have. That's also great. Ragi, those are same. Boiled rice. Boiled rice can be consumed, not a problem. Portion matters. Can I access this session later? I think you would be able to. We are working on putting all of this. I did record the session. We're trying to put all of this somewhere. And if you require the link, we will share it with you. Apple cider vinegar before lunch is fine. Yes, you can have it provided you don't have any gastric issues. Okay, if you feel it's making you feel uneasy, take it after food. Dates and kismis, I already mentioned in the morning. Definitely not if you're diabetic. How many dates per day? It's not something, if you're diabetic, sir, not on a daily basis. Okay, maybe alternate days or once in 3 days, one date is okay. Check your postprandial sugars and see. After you have anything, right? If you check your sugars after 2 hours, see if it is within the range. If it's not, then it's something that is not working well for you. Nuts, what should be the quantity? I told you, right? Just how much ever you can fit in the palm of your hand when you're doing like this, not overflowing. Sea buckthorn juice, yes, you can take it. No, nothing against it that we have. Red meat, always keep it to a very, very minimal because red meat is something that directly impacts your cholesterol. So maybe red meat once a month, yeah, good to go. Beetroot is okay, not a problem at all. Methi, I just mentioned. Milk, I had also mentioned during the session. 100 ml is ideally good if you're diabetic, not more. Fasting is great for diabetic. No problem at all, Mr. Vijay. I think it's absolutely fine. Pre-workout, what could be easy and handy food? Okay, so sometimes what I have for pre-workout, that I'm talking about myself, I might have half an apple with a little bit of peanut butter because it's very, very quick. Or if you're having half an apple, take a little bit, like 7, 8 almonds and you go. Fruit along with this is very, very important. Check your sugars. If you're already having a very high sugar prior to your workout, then you don't have to take something. If it is slightly less or at the ideal level, because I think you mentioned that after the workout it is going high, then probably trying to have this is better. Alternative options of fiber and protein while traveling. You get powders, right? Isabgol or fiber powder, you get protein powder, you get best way, you get even in small, small sachets. So it's very easy for you to pack, you can carry it. Beetroot, yes. Sweetener in tea every day. I'm hoping you're talking about alternative sweetener. Papaya fruit is also okay. Ragi ball, I already mentioned. Sugar-free chocolates, yes, that's a big yes. You can have sugar-free chocolates. If you're having a dark chocolate, it's also fine, but you have to make sure it is 75% or higher. Okay, so that there's not too much of sugar going into it. Which is better, papaya or apple? I think both are fine. If papaya is too ripe and when you touch it becomes mushy mushy, that's not something I advise. Okay, that way apple is always a safe option. Sleeping, is it a problem? So if you're having sugars dip during the sleep, probably you might have to have a bedtime snack or rework on your dinner. Two boiled eggs ले सकते हो आप राजू sir. Absolutely fine. Beetroot is okay to have, no problem. ABC juice if you're diabetic or non-diabetic also not something I recommend. On empty stomach when you take it, it's directly just sugar to your body. Okay, so try not to take it on a daily basis on empty stomach. Once in a while you're having it is absolutely fine. Dark chocolate I told. Yes, frozen veggies are absolutely fine. Okay, papaya. Can I have puri once in a month? Once in a month is absolutely fine, sir. No problem at all. Bone broth, mutton or organ meat once a week being diabetic. You can have it, no problem. See, mutton or organ meat probably can be lesser, Amitji. Okay, once in 2 weeks or once in 3 weeks, I would suggest. Okay, that is still better. Red meat is not something we advise. Lean meat or thin meat, white colored meat, no? That is still a lot better. Arrowroot biscuit, probably not a very good choice. Peanut butter with fruits, okay, provided your peanut butter is sugar free. Having cholesterol, you can, like 1 teaspoon you can take, one level teaspoon, okay, not more than that. Dragon fruit is, palm candy is also sugar only, sir, probably made from palm jaggery. It's not something that I recommend definitely if you have sugar. It's going to spike up your sugars. Brown rice is okay. Diabetes affects bone density. No, not that we have seen. So that doesn't happen. Coconut candy is okay, but look at the type of sweetener that's going into it. Club soda is fine. It's absolutely fine. Doesn't have any sugar or additives into it. Can we apply ghee on roti very, very minimally? Yes, you can. Raw papaya, I would suggest is better than ripe papaya any day, right? Because sugars are lesser. But if you're having ripe papaya, make sure it's not overripe. Guava fruit before breakfast. If you're diabetic, Kadiravan sir, no. Okay. Keep the guava for a mid-morning snack or an evening snack. Take it along with a little bit of walnuts or any other nuts or seeds. Lentils are absolutely fine. I soaked 5 seeds, jeera, soft, methi, flaxseed, kalonji overnight and drinking in the morning and replace. Yeah, that's fine. How many almonds and walnuts would you suggest with one apple? If you're having almonds, maybe 7 to 8. If you're having walnut halves, it can be 4 to 5. Beer sometimes is okay, sir. Wine is also okay, but wine does contain sugar. Remember, wine is made by using grapes and sugar. So, very, very small amount, 75 ml is what we recommend. Okay, that too, not very, very frequently. Chapati daily is fine. Jowar kakra is okay, but not along with tea. Probably not very good. Chapatis with tomato curry, okay, sir. But if you can take an egg or paneer on the side, why not do that? Bajra kakra with tea, same as jowar kakra. I don't recommend it. Roasted poha is not very good. Ghee, sambar. Can I add fruits in breakfast? Foods in breakfast, no. Like I told you, right? Carbs cannot come from multiple areas. That's going to make it very, very tough. Roasted amaranth namkeen. Excellent choice. I think that's great. Java is okay. Fasting is can be good for diabetics, sir. It also depends on the duration and depends on the body weight also. If you're someone whose body weight is on the higher side, you can do it, not a problem. So check once you check your fasting, you get an idea, right? With that, you titrate your fasting duration. Vinegar in food, yes, you can, no problem. Herbalife powder is not something I recommend, sir. Oats idli is fine. Whiskey with water is also okay. but not more than 2 pegs if you're having it, not more than once a week. Sabudana is something, I know it's upvas, mostly for fasting you have sabudana, but unfortunately it is something that spikes up the sugar. So for the day of fasting, if you have no other option, nothing we can do about it. Beetroot peanuts are fine. Can we have the PPT of this session? Okay, let me try to share it, sir. I'll do my best to do that. Dark chocolate is okay. Coconut oil is also fine. Red meat I had discussed. Red meat only once in a month. I would recommend it. Twice in a month is still okay, but not something you have very regularly, please. Mirchi powder. Mirchi powder does not do anything to glucose levels, Jay sir, not at all. Okay, thank you, Mr. Jagdish. It means a lot. Chinese food. Chinese food does contain a lot of salt, soy sauce, sometimes ketchup. It's not something I recommend, but if you're eating out once in a week only, then it is okay. Mango with curd is okay for you to consume, not a problem. Okay, as long as you don't face any digestion or anything like that, it's okay. Empty stomach workout is fine, no problem, provided you are comfortable. If you're feeling too tired, where you're not able to do a long workout, right? Maybe you're not able to go for 60 minutes, then in that case, you can. Okay. Biscuits with tea is something I don't recommend, Yasmin ma'am. So rather you try to have Treptin biscuits, okay? Or if you want to have biscuit, have a black tea or a black coffee without sugar. And only 2 small biscuits. Try to go for sugar-free biscuits. Yes, milk, I was saying, right? It does cause sugar spike. If it is within control for you, then you can still take it. If remember, sometimes it is under control because of the medication we are taking also. Okay, so that's something that we need to keep in mind. Masala pani puri. See, pani puri ka wo jo bhi puri hai, it is deep fried. I don't recommend that. Okay, if it's once a week, like I told you, hafte mein ek baar ya once in 10 days you're taking it, it is okay. Murmura, chivda, everyday snack, definitely no. Instead of that, try using maybe घर पे बना के देखिए, try to make it at home. And instead of using poha, why don't you use millet poha? That's also available in the market. Someone also mentioned, right? Amaranth ka something was mentioned that they're having in the evening. That's a better option. Okay, try to make small, healthier swaps. Today's session was also about that, right? Try to make small healthy swaps wherever you can in order to make it better. Mango, kakra, chicken biryani. Acha, okay. So there is a interesting way to have chicken biryani. Okay, so start with, if you're having chicken biryani, it comes with chicken pieces, it comes with eggs, raita. This is usually what gets served. So start with having the meat pieces and the eggs. Okay, then you come to eating the rice along with the raita. It's a better way for you to manage. You won't end up overeating. What usually happens when we start the meal with rice, no, we end up eating a lot of rice, which is not good, especially if you're diabetic, right? So you have to be very, very careful with the portions. Okay. Sugar-free toast is good. I hope I answered as many questions as I can. Okay. I'll do another session probably sometime soon. We'll take up more questions definitely. Okay. I hope all of you also enjoyed the session, right?